Solutions to Trump tariff. The ultimate solution depends on Yunusonomics. Professor Yunus can give the right solutions. But if we look at the economic structure of Bangladesh and its RMG competitors, we can see that out of the total manufacturing, 57% is textile and clothing manufacturing. That means we are much more dependent on the textile production. India, Vietnam, China, they're not dependent on the textile sectors. Sri Lanka is also dependent, and Cambodia is 87% of the total manufacturing is textile and clothing. It is the feature of the least developed countries. The poorer the country, the more dependency on labor intensive industry. That happens for Cambodia. But we need to move from the labor intensive to the capital intensive industries. Economic restructuring is important. Counter tariff is not the solution for a third world economy like Bangladesh. You cannot compete with United States. So counter tariff means you are competing with them. China is different issue. China is the economic superpower at this moment. And their dependency on the textile sector is not so. So we cannot impose counter tariff like China, India, or Vietnam. Vietnam is also not dependent on RMG exports. Vietnam's economic structure is different than Bangladesh because their RMG production, textile production is only 14%, whereas our textile production is 57%. So we are much more dependent on the textile industry than Vietnam. And government should think economic restructuring is important, economic restructuring by reducing dependency on textile production. Why? Because RMG industry is not the industry of the civilized economy. That is true. Because the industry was in United States, industry was in UK, industry was in Japan, industry was in South Korea. They abandoned the industry because this is not the industry of the civilized economy. So we have to rethink how we can replace this 50% with the more valuable, more important economic or more important industries. Our Yunusonomics must concentrate on this issue. The Yunusonomics is much more experienced in international trade and economics, and he is the right political economist. He is ultimately the political economist. And he is the right political economist among all the country leaders in the world right now. And he is more influential than Mr. Trump, I believe. And we are waiting for the solution from the Professor Muhammad Yunus. And that will be the ultimate solution, I hope. But in the short run, I'm summarizing some actions here. As there is no benefit of counter tariff, I believe counter tariff will be harmful for the RMG manufacturers because we import cotton from United States. If Bangladesh imposes counter tariff on cotton import, the cost of production will increase. The effect will fall on RMG business because of higher cost of production. Government will benefit from the counter tariff in the short run. That means you are imposing some tariff on importing cotton. Government will get the tariff, not the businessman. Rather, it is better to negotiate with the Trump administration in addition to looking for alternative cotton market like Central Asia, Australia, etc. Government of Bangladesh should increase cash incentive to 10%. Right now, they are offering maximum 5%. I think it is better to give them cash incentive to get the dollar in our country because we are facing dollar crisis. Government of Bangladesh should formulate a strategic plan for Bangladesh's economic restructuring. This is very important. Strategic plan. সংস্কারের কথা যেটা বলি এই সংস্কারটা অত্যন্ত জরুরি Bangladesh should move to produce technical textiles, medical textiles, high value added textiles, rather than producing the basic t-shirt. This is not the job of the civilized economy once again. This is the industry of the labor intensive industries. Human resources are developing here in country. So I hope that Bangladesh will move to technical textiles, medical textiles. Bangladesh should choose protectionism, yes, like Mr. Trump, to import RMG to Bangladesh because we are using Chinese shirt, Indian shirt, Chinese pants, Indian pants. We should stop it. Restriction on RMG import may upset by local supply, and that will ultimately save import bills, import dollars, and not by the government. Business level leaders think of re-export, tariff engineering, and they should negotiate with the Turkish buyers, Singaporean businessmen, Brazilian businessmen to re-export garments to capture the US market because import tax on Turkey, Singapore, Brazil is 10%. So only to capturing the US market we can re-engineer tariff. Re-engineering or re-exporting is permitted in those countries. So we should focus more on Brazil because Brazil is next to United States for tariff engineering, re-engineering. And RMG exporters, be careful to decrease the price of your product. Buyers will make pressure to decrease the price, but as buyers have no alternative, they will come back. আপনার পণ্যের দাম কমাতে সাবধান থাকুন ক্রেতারা ফিরে আসবে তাদের অন্য কোনো বিকল্প নেই দিস ইজ ট্রু সো বি কেয়ারফুল